All right, everyone can see that? Yep. All right, so your next project is a design project. So you're going to design it in AutoCAD. Actually, you should design it on paper first. Figure out what you're going to do. Then move to AutoCAD to make the pieces. So design project. And the pieces, we're going to cut the pieces with the laser cutter. So these are flat pieces, plastic. Okay, and I'll show you the plastic. Maybe I'll go get one because then I'll show it on the video too. So let's pause. I laid a couple pieces out. So we have a laser cutter. I'll talk about this. You're going to laser cut the pieces out and then you're going to put them together. So I think it's 1/8 inch. We can measure it, but it's pretty thin plastic, right? Thin plastic. Whoops. All right. So thin plastic looks something like this. They're big sheets, but you won't use that much. So the pieces that you're designing, they're flat pieces, right? And they need to come together. So these are from a different project. They don't have any tabs. Tabs are probably the most common way to bring two pieces together. So I'll just talk about tabs first. And tabs means you have a hole, right? So I'll do it kind of three-dimensionally, but you would put a hole in one piece, and then the piece that comes in, you know, from this direction, from the bottom, would have a tab. Make sense? Try and draw it three-dimensionally, but I won't be able to, maybe. Yeah, you get it though. So one slides into the other, and I want it to be pretty tight. So you have to know, in order to design this thing, you have to know what the cut scarf is of the laser, how much material you're going to lose. So if you make this tab 1 inch on your drawing, then the laser cuts it. The laser takes, 10 thousandths away. So if the laser, here's the big sheet, if the laser cuts this and you made this 2 inches by 1 inch, and if it takes 10 thousandths, it takes 5 thousandths from each direction of your line, right? So this will end up to be oversized because it's going to cut along here 2 by 1, right? It'll end up to be on this side 5 thousandths smaller here and 5 thousandths smaller there, 5 thousandths and 5 thousandths on all edges, right? Half of the 10,000. The other half goes to the piece that gets removed. We don't care about that one. So what you have to think about is, okay, if I want two things that come together, I need to if it's a hole, I need to undersize it by 10 thousandths. And if it's a tab, I need to oversize it by 10 thousandths. And then they'll be the exact same size. It'll be kind of a press fit, right? And it's pretty good at that. Like, it's pretty consistent. It's, you know, it's slightly changing. It's not perfect machine. But we want ours to fit. You don't want it sloppy or you can't even put your structure together, right? And if it's too tight, we can take a little sandpaper and correct that problem, right? If it's too loose, we can't correct that. It's just too loose. That makes sense? So if you use 10 thousandths as your guide, you'll get these tabs fairly tight. All right. And we're just going to use the tabs to line up, and then we have a hot glue gun. We can actually stick a little hot glue gun on it, and it'll be done. It'll be stuck. So you're going to design flat pieces that come together. The thing that you're designing is a soap holder for in the shower. So we've all had a shower, we've all had soap. Sometimes the soap just sits on a shelf, but back in the day, there was like a soap holder. Like if you go to a motel, there's a lot of times a soap holder. It's just a tray thing, right? I hate them. They're dumb. They let the soap get wet. I hate wet soap. So your soap holder will not let the soap get wet. Well, definitely a hole in the bottom, but it's got to have a cover to cover your soap. And it's got to be easy to get in and out of. Like I want to reach over with one hand, probably flip the lid up, is the most common design, grab my soap and use it. All right. That's it. That's the project. So standard bar soap. If you don't know what that is, Google it or go to the store and buy one. I meant to bring one, but I didn't. Just a standard bar soap, the normal Dove, whatever soap, right? Should sit in the holder. It should be covered so when the shower is going, it's not getting soaked. And I should be able to one-handed easily get the soap out. It won't take you long to figure out a pretty simple system for that. But then you got to design it in pieces, in flat pieces that come together and work, right? And then we'll cut them out and put them together. See how our soap holders work. The drawings aren't going to be complicated. Like I wouldn't make them, you can make them as cool as you want and go for it. Like, let's have some fun, but they don't have to be super complicated. You know, could be a lot of rectangles, maybe triangles, you know, not crazy shapes, but feel free to have fun with it. I think you probably should design it first. Like think about what you're going to do. Maybe even like, hey, this needs to be, you know, 3 inches. I want the top to be 3 inches, and then however I'm going to cover it, you know, whatever. It's going to mount to the shower with just adhesive. So you don't even have to put mount holes. Like we're not going to put screws into our shower. That's a bad idea. Just some of that industrial double-sided tape and good to go, right? We can stick them on and give them a try. Questions? So you got a week to get the cut pattern ready. So the cut pattern in AutoCAD just needs to be in AutoCAD. Just don't do anything tricky with AutoCAD lines. Just use regular lines to make the cut pattern. We want them all in one model space. So we want all the pieces together, right? Just in flat view. So in AutoCAD, it's just going to look like a bunch of rectangles, triangles. You're not going to be able to tell how it comes together. So, you know, whatever it is. Whatever, don't give it any thickness, just thin cut lines. All right. Then from there, we migrated to Photoshop of all things. And from Photoshop, we can cut with the laser. So we'll go through that process in a week. Good. Questions? Probably, I mean, 1 tab might be enough, but most of the time, 2 tabs is preferred on an edge. So this is probably not enough to hold that really well, right? Probably should have, you don't need 3, but 2 tabs is nice to hold it together. And be careful because if we get our tabs and our holes off, it's like no worky, right? No fit. So that's what I say, but I'm always a softie and let you go fix something and cut again. So I have quite a bit of material. So you might get more than 1 try, maybe. Yeah, definitely don't bring it. Like if it doesn't fit, you're not going to sand that out. If it's a little thing, we got sandpaper, but yeah, and the stuff's kind of brittle. So it's like you can't even drill and hacksaw to make the correction. It'll just crack up. So yeah. All right. That's it. That's the current project. Good luck.